All right, guys. Hey, this is Dave Whichard, President of FFL Velocity, Warrior Podcast, and I got my buddy Ron Miller on here. The reason I asked Ron to come on today is, number one, business partner, love being in business with Ron, Shelly, and their family, and, working hard to serve families. But one of the things that, when I met Ron, he was, at our practice company, he was, top salesperson there in supplemental insurance and that type of thing. So I kind of want to really talk about why this is a good fit, right? Like we did a podcast, I guess a week or so ago, whatever. And, I think I was in that for 19 years. So I believe in it very wholeheartedly. I believe for what we do in calling leads, it gets us in front of people that are asking for help for life insurance, but this is another thing. It's another tool to recruit for. It's another tool that we can help families. And that's, at the end of the day, that's why we have this opportunity. But I wanted just to ask Ron a couple questions about it, let him talk a little bit about it. He sold a lot of it already. But just, Ron, if you could just tell us why, number one, why we're in the insurance business, why you're in the insurance business, I guess would be a good one to start with. If you guys don't know, he's a EVP with our company. He's protected a lot of families and things like that. He's actually been in the field probably recently more than, in a few months. And so getting this thing going and selling some life insurance and also the supplemental side. So he has more insight to it than anyone. But what are some things that, excite you about the supplemental side of things, in addition to how they pair together and why that's important? Because I was talking to a guy the other day and it's like, dude, you could be in a house and they may already have life insurance. They may be in a good place with that. Now, we obviously want to add more, but at the same time, it might be a financial reason. But with cancer, everybody knows, somebody that has cancer. So could you just talk about the psychology behind that and how we can grow this as a company to help us all?
Sure. So first off, thank you for inviting me to your podcast, Dave. You and I go back many, many years, and it's been a privilege and honor to be working with you in the past and presently, especially now that you're an integrity partner. It's even more exciting. But to start off, I got involved with the insurance business, just like a lot of people that are part of this industry. And I'll never forget, I was working in a real estate company, and we're on a boat and stuff, and large boat with some clients. And I asked the gentleman I was working with, this real estate builder, who owns those houses up there? And he said, well, actually, we build those. And it's Dr. So-and-so. It's so-and-so. He's an insurance broker, doctor, insurance, and some other industry. And a light bulb went off. It's like, like I should go look into insurance. At that point, I started looking around. I had literally about $300 in my pocket. There was a time where for real estate, you go your ups and downs. I was on my downside, and I thought about it. I was like, if that guy's doing it, I can do it, right? And a lot of people still think about dollar signs, which is fine. But my heart was not in the right place, and it was very obvious because things that I was saying was not coming from my heart. It was just coming out because of money. When he got diagnosed with cancer, it really hit home. And it hit home because when I met with him, he was in the ICU and, had the yellow eyes with jaundice and he was fragile, like looking skinny, so on and so forth. He said, hey, I want to talk to you, but just you and I. So he gets up, without anybody else in the room. He gets out of the bed like an old man and he starts shuffling his feet with the IV hooked up to the little roller. And he looks at me and goes, in Spanish kind of, he was Hispanic, he said, Chinga Ronald, I effed up, didn't I? And I was like, what do you mean, man? I should have got something. And I said at the time, no, don't worry about it. We're going to help you out. You're going to beat this. And then he gave me that look again and said, no, I should have got something. That's the moment in time that I look back that changed my life and my career with insurance. I saw the transformation that he went through, and I saw the things that he did trying to pay for his bills, his house, his cars, his utilities, the food for his family, so on and so forth. And in doing so, he was trying to do whatever he could, sell this and that. And I told him, don't worry about it. We're going to help you. We're going to do some fundraisers. But it still wasn't enough. At that point, and I'll never forget, like going to the funeral and seeing him, with his family surrounding the coffin and stuff. And it really hit home in that I knew at that point, I need to do this for the individual. I need to help more people. The only way I can do that is really find out what their why is, know my products inside and out, and let God lead the way. And so when that happened, from there forward, I started leading from the front. I started going out and asking those questions, specifically what can I do to help you? Like, what is the why that they want this insurance? You know, I've been doing this with you, Dave, for about 10 years now. And I really enjoy the journey, the transformation of being a beginning agent to an experienced agent. And the great thing about what we do is that there's different scenarios that happen every single day with every single person. It's like we're so blessed to be with Family First Life because there's so many different carriers that we can work with. It's like sort of like a puzzle. We're trying to figure out what's the best carrier that's going to be able to protect that individual. If this carrier doesn't cover them for whatever reason, we can pivot to go to this other carrier, and so on and so forth. And for myself, when I look at insurance, we are a blessing to these individuals. I call us agents angels. And I say that all the time because we don't think about this. But over the years, as you and I have seen this, we get those calls from individuals saying, you know, Dave, Ron, if it wasn't for you. That's where it really hits home. And I take pride in talking about working with insurance because we are changing people's lives for the better. It's true that nobody, like me and myself, like when we talk about insurance, like from car insurance that we pay for house insurance, cell phone insurance, so on and so forth, like we're up to our ears with insurance and nobody wants to pay more money for insurance. But the fact is, we're the first people that people call when something happens, right? And when I look at this, if we're able to help them, it's a blessing. Now, with Family First Life, we've been blessed with the fact that we're selling a lot of life insurance. And the fact is, there's two things in life that's going to happen. One, we're going to pay taxes. Two, we're going to die, right? But as I've been with this company now for 2 years, and I'll say this, thank you to Sean Mike and for Integrity for getting this set up, we're now selling supplemental insurance. And that's something that you and I, Dave, did at the other company. And now it's come to fruition here at Family First Life. And I call it the supplemental side, I call it true living benefits. You know, you're not going to get a percentage if you go through a heart attack or stroke, you go through cancer, so on and so forth. It's whenever you get diagnosed with something, if you have a policy that's set up, you're going to get protected. You know, from cancer, which is like, it's a bad word that everybody hears. It never goes away, right? Mm-hmm. So we have cancer that now we can protect families with financially if they go through that. Heart attacks and strokes, accidents. There's hospital indemnity, ICU. There's dental, vision, and hearing. I mean, all these things, I hope to God no one ever uses them. But the fact is, we still get those calls to this day. So for us to be able to bring to Family First Life really puts us, I would say, as a one-stop shop, right? Mm-hmm. We can actually go out there and protect those loved ones if someone passes. But if something happens to them today in their life and they need help, that supplemental insurance is gold. It will give them the protection. It will give them money financially, as I said before, to pay for that house, to pay for that food, the food that they need, for the lights, so on and so forth. The supplemental side truly goes hand in hand with life insurance because unless you have a crystal ball that can predict your future, that none of us do have, it's always better to have than not have. And I say that because so often I see people kicking themselves in the butt saying I could have, should have, would have, or as I said before, those calls that you and I get, Dave, saying thank you so much if it wasn't for you. So I'd rather have the latter part of it and that we can cover them, which we are able to do that. And for us with Family First Life, it is something that just like we're just scratching the surface, as Sean would say. There's so many changes that are happening for the better. We are always trying to be a step ahead, in which we will continue to do that with Family First Life. But we're doing that to help protect families even more so and to build our legacies as agents.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And, I think that's the thing, guys. Like, we're not trying to, at our company, we're not trying to change, hey, we do life insurance. Like, that's what we're good at. We specialize in. We have all these different things, right? And what I love about what we do, it's simple. Like, it's a simple add-on. It's a simple, replacement if that's the case. I guess what I'm trying to say is when we go in home, so we'll talk about that for a second. Like, you call a lead, Ron, you've done this. You've knocked on some doors with the leads. You've been in their homes with leads. You've actually done this. Like, you sold, 10, 12 families in a week with supplemental, in addition to selling some life insurance and while you were doing that. And so I guess, agents here, they're seeing this. I guess my whole thing is keep doing what you're doing. Keep down leads. That's what we have, right? We have leads. Where I came from, we all knocked on doors. We don't have to do that, right? If you're, we got people that some of them are doing school systems and things of this nature and things like that. And so it gives us just that extra bag of tricks, if you will. I hate to say tricks, but it just gives us everything we need. And for me, like I was just thinking about this the other day, I ran into people. So when I was at the practice company, Ron, and you ran this too, it's like we didn't have it wasn't even a life policy. Like we we went in and we took care of them. We had nothing to give them. Here we have everything to give them in life, and now we have everything with Cigna. So could you talk about a couple of the things, maybe just a couple transitions that you make? Because you're talking about a company that we do life insurance, or some guys out there that they're in the field, they're running into somebody, and they maybe how they find out they're in a home, like they've got the life insurance they want, they filled the form out, it just didn't work out for whatever reason, maybe it's a health reason, whatever the case may be, or they've sold them life insurance and now they're like, hey, guess what? Before I leave, boom. What are a couple transition phrases that can help some people?
Sure. So, as you know, Dave, so the prior company that we worked at, we didn't have any leads to buy. So we're basically knocking on doors and talking to the individuals and saying, hey, I'm here because, there's a lot of people around here going through cancer, whatever, so on and so forth. When I came over to Family First Life, it was different, but in a good way. And the fact that no more knocking on doors, we don't know who these people are. We're able to buy a lead, pick up the phone, make an appointment, and go see them and cover them, right? But the fact remains, like, it's not always that easy. And as the saying goes, there are several ways to skin a cat. So first and foremost, I would definitely be buying leads because those leads are coming in for a reason. These are people that want our help. And as Sean would say, we're not selling anything, we're taking orders, right? That's what we're doing. But what I do is whenever I go to a house, and these are ways to get free leads. That's what I like to say, to add on to those leads that we're buying. So whenever I go into a house, like the first thing that I try to gravitate towards is pictures, because pictures will say 1,000 words. As I walk into the house, I'll ask questions. So I'm already starting to build a rapport, like, who's this lovely young lady over here? Oh, that's my daughter. Wow, what does she do? Well, she's a teacher. And I'm guessing these are your grandchildren? Yes. And this gentleman over here, oh, that's my son. What does he do? He's an attorney. Right away, guys, I'm already thinking referrals. As I'm talking about this and I'm complimenting what's such a beautiful family, so on and so forth, that rapport keeps building. I get to the table. And, of course, when I sit down, we'll talk maybe for 30 seconds or a minute more, and then I'll say, well, as you know, the reason that I'm here is because of whatever it is, like for the life insurance, right? Once I go through the discussion of signing, why they should have life insurance, why I'm there is because they told me why they need it, because they don't have it or because they want more. At the end, I'll do something very simple. This is how you get your free leads. So at the end, I'll say something like, well, first off, there's two things that I'll go back. I'll say, is there anyone in your family that's gone through some kind of major cancer, any kind of heart attack or stroke or accidents? Now, I would say the fact is almost everybody, almost 100% of the people I talk to, yes, they have had somebody that's close to them go through that cancer, heart attack, stroke, whatever, and it really hits home. So at that point, I'll ask them because it becomes an emotional buy, like, tell me about it. Once that goes into the talk stage and they start opening up, everything kind of like changes. And they start remembering, like, the trips that they had that they made to go take maybe their loved one to MD Anderson, right? How much money it took for putting the gas in, for paying for the hotel, for the food, for not going to work and losing money off of not working themselves to take their loved one, right? All those things start going into their minds. At that point, I'll say something like, well, if you have a couple more minutes, I want to talk to you regarding how we can protect you financially in case you did go through something like that. Now, you probably heard of them, but we're now partnered with one of the largest health insurance providers in the United States called Cigna. And I'll hear it all the time. Oh, yes, I have Cigna, or my mom has Cigna, so on and so forth. So it's a gate opener for you to move into the supplemental side. Once I start talking myself about, what we have to offer, the next thing you know, I'm signed up on a policy. At the end of signing up a policy, I'll say something very, very quickly. I'm so glad that I was able to protect you today on your life insurance. I was able to get you some supplemental. Before I go, now that you're my client, I'll be your agent for life. Who are some of the people that you really love and care about? And guys, I'll write this down. Who are some of the people that you really love and care about that you would like for me to go talk to you? The fact that you are my client, I really want to help those that you love the most. Now, when we came in, you talked about your daughter that's a teacher. Am I correct? And at that point, guys, I have a pen, I have a paper, I'm looking at them because I'm already assuming they're going to give me the information no matter what. So that's your daughter. How far away does she live? Oh, she lives a couple of blocks away. What's the address? And so I'm already starting to write down like, oh, she's off 2626 Main Street. Great. And what time does she usually get home? And again, I'm not even looking at it. Well, she gets home, gets the kids, blah, blah, blah. She's usually home about 4:45, the latest 5. Great. But give me a sec real quick. Let me look at my schedule, and I'll look at my phone and say, look, I have several appointments that are already set up. I'm really busy, but again, I really want to help and protect those that you love and care about because you're now my client. Can you do me a favor? And I call this a trampoline effect. Can you call your daughter and let her know that I'm going to be swinging by? I have an appointment earlier. So I would say about 5:30, latest 5:45. Can you do that for me? So you have a 50-50 chance at that point. She's going to say yes or no. Well, she loves the policy. She just bought all the stuff. Of course, she's going to say yes, right? So at that point, I'll say, and you mentioned your son. He's in the other picture. What does he do? Well, he's an attorney. What is, how long has he been an attorney? Well, he owns the practice. How many employees? Like all this stuff, these are referrals. Where does he live? Oh, he lives around the corner. He lives in the town next to us. And he's at, 56 Blue Jay Street, whatever. So I'm writing down that information. So I keep going, guys. Is there anyone else that you love and care about that you want me to go talk to, right? Can you give your son a call to let him know what I'm going to do? Can you let your best friend know because her family went through cancer as well? Can you, so on and so forth? These are free leads. Now, at that point, I'm going to make this a sense of urgency because I already told her I'm going to go visit her daughter today. And so guess what? I'm going to go visit. And when I show up, it's not a cold call. It's a warm lead that you have the permission, so to speak, from the loved one, from her mom, right? And I may show up and say, hey, Melissa, Ron Miller with Family First Life. How are you doing today? Great. The reason I stopped by, did your mom give you a call? Yes, she did. Yeah, I was with her earlier regarding these policies. She said that you're one of her favorites. I started laughing. But she really said that she loved you a lot, and she really wants me to talk to you about these policies that she got and how I can help you out as well. Is there somewhere we can sit? And I'll lean towards the door, right? And I'm reaching to grab the door. At that point, she's going to be like, okay, and we're going to walk in. It happens almost every single time. Then I'll go through the policies that her mom got. I'll talk about, the supplemental policies. I'll talk about the life insurance. And guys, now you have that warm lead that is now coming to fruition where you're actually in front of them. And if they tell me, you know what, I already have life insurance. Well, this is your lucky day. I'm going to go ahead and review this because I told you your mom said something about that. You may have it with the school. And as you know, you're leasing it. You don't own that. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to review that policy for free. And at the same time, I'm going to go over what your mom got because she talked about cancer being on her side of the family. Is that correct? Yes. So guys, here I go through it, right? And now I'm selling a life insurance policy because guess what? That's a term with the school district. They don't own it. It's going to go away. We're going to get a whole life policy for them or something else, right? At that point, also, I'm talking about what her mom got. When her mom got it, you should get it because breast cancer is what? It's hereditary. It's better to have than not have. At the end, same thing. By the way, your mom told me to go talk to your brother, her best friend, your cousin, or anybody else you think I should go talk to that you love and care about yourself. Well, yeah. My best friend, she just buried her father with, he had a heart attack. It runs in their family. What is her address? Pen to paper. Blah, blah, blah. I'm really busy today, but tomorrow I may have some opening. What time does she get back from work? So these are things, guys, these are free leads that you're building. And if you do it right, you're going to jump from house to house to house, and you're going to get from leads to leads to leads. I had, doing this over the years, I have stacks and stacks and stacks of leads that I never even followed up with because I had so many leads to go to. And I look at that as a blessing. And again, there's several ways to skin a cat, but you have the ability now to buy leads with Family First Life, which is a game changer because you're sitting in your air-conditioned house or your office and you're able to call these individuals. And you have all these leads you just acquired. And you're protecting more families. Mm-hmm. With Family First Life, guys, and I love this because we're always looking to get better, and we're in a win-win situation. No matter which way you look at it, we're there to protect a family. If you go to a house, and a lot of times this happens where maybe the person doesn't want life insurance. Like they just got it, or they had a life insurance for years now, right? It's a whole life policy. You can't go any cheaper because it's already been 10 years, right? That's fine. But guess what? Now I have something else to protect them. I have that supplemental. So if I can cover them with something and I leave that house, it's a win because they're protected one way or another with life insurance or supplemental or both. And I got referrals, right? Even if the policy for a supplemental policy, say it's $30 with the supplemental side. And I will say this, like, again, thank you, Sean, and thank you, Integrity, because we are now partnered with Cigna, one of the best companies out there. And so that name carries 10x, 100x, because people know who they are. This gives us the credibility that we have, and even more so, right? So any which way you look at it, guys, with Family First Life, as we're evolving, as we're continuing to get better, this is another tool in our tool belt to bless these individuals, these clients, by providing a service that they desperately need. And nobody really wants to think about, oh my God, heart attack, strokes, or cancer, or accidents. But the fact is, this happens day after day after day. And every time I have a story, and so or things happen, I say, you know what, I've heard it all. And then something else comes along, and it's worse than the other thing. It's like, oh my God. And I could sit here all day and next couple of days and give you stories of some of my clients, what they've gone through, and you never would expect it. I never thought in a million years I'd be calling you, Ron. But the fact is, it happens all the time. And for all of you that are listening to this podcast, I would say this. I mean, what is keeping you from protecting yourself? As we are out there protecting individuals with life insurance, which we all should get, like, again, you don't have a crystal ball, just like I don't. Protect yourself, protect your family. Get involved get a policy for yourself, because you never know. But get also signed up with our supplemental side. Make it to where that extra tool's in your tool belt, because you never know when someone's going to be that individual that calls you and says, Mr. Miller or Mr. Whichard, thank you so much, right? Thank you for coming by my house. That's what I think people don't get. For myself, for the beginning of my insurance career, where I started, it's made a transformation to where I'm at now. And it always happens this way. When you start with something, you go through a learning curve, you're doing okay, but you get better and better and better. With Family First Life, and I'm blessed to be a part of this IMO, because it's one of the fastest, one of the largest growing IMOs out there, but we're continuing to evolve into something bigger and better every single day.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you're right. It is, the biggest, the baddest, the fastest growing. So, and again, thank you, Sean, and just, continue to add what we need, right? So now you mentioned one-stop shop, and, again, we have the Medicare thing. I don't know the first thing about it, honestly. I do know supplemental, because I've done that before, and I know life insurance now. And so the cool thing is, and I would just say this, we're going to wrap it up here in just a second. I want you to make sure that they know how to get a hold of you, Ron, because Ron knows how to do that side. He's good. He's on life insurance too, and he can help you and whatever. But if you're with a company that's selling supplemental, I mean, I don't know why you'd be captive, number one. It limits you. I was talking to a guy earlier who does group enrollments. Actually, his son works here, and he's doing something over here with this other company he's not technically captive. He can still do it. Some of the companies have realized, hey, that's probably the way to go now. Just saying. And so he's selling life insurance with him, which is really cool. And now he's wanting to get over here so he can sell it and build a team outside of what he's doing. So my point is, if you're over there, you're limited. You're limited, number one. We were limited. Here at life insurance, we weren't really limited because we have some companies that do it. It's just not what they specialize in, like a Cigna in this area. In the supplemental side, they actually have a division, right? So we give you the best. We give you the best tools, just like everything else. And that's the thing about our leader. It's just always trying to give us new products, new companies we can work with. Why you would be in this industry and you're not here, I don't understand. I don't know. Vesting day. We all got this business for renewals. It's day one. Like, we don't have to wait 10 years, 5 years, whatever. And so I'm glad you said that, Ron. So if you have any questions about something, please reach out to Ron. I can ask questions too. But, again, he's the guy that's kind of had this thing up, got us in the play that we're in, thanks to Sean and him working together with that and getting all the things. A lot of work, a lot of work to get that thing set up. So we appreciate you, Ron, and what you've done, you and Shelley, and getting all that done. So it's a lot of work. But guys, if you're not contracted, please reach out to them. Get contract right away. We need to wrap up here in just a second, but just another comment or two, and then just make sure that you give them how they get hold of you, because we want them to come work with you in this area and help you.
Absolutely. So I would say real quick,
it's great.
I'll take this from Eric Commodity, get your calculator out, because there's so many different supplemental companies out there where they're making like less than what we're at. So we're like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But to get a hold of us is very simple. So we have our website. You can go to www.fflsup.com, sup.com. We're on social media. We're on Facebook under FFL Supplemental. We're under TikTok. We're under Instagram. We're uploading videos on YouTube. Or just get a hold of me, 512-626-5162. Or reach up to your upline if you're with FFL. If you're not, reach out to me, myself, or reach out to Dave Whichard. We're here to help each and every one of y'all become more of a blessing to others that are out there. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Ron, for being on. I really appreciate you taking time today. And guys, we thank you, we love you, we appreciate you for jumping on. The podcast means a lot to me, just even if it's just touching one person. So again, get contracted with Signix. This rate gives you an extra tool in your belt. You can help a lot of people, and certainly we can have anybody here, no matter where you're at, and come over here and do what you're doing and make more money. So we're super excited about that, serving families. So thanks for being on today. Really appreciate you.
Thanks
you so much.
God bless.